Well, we're back from Oshkosh, but let's start out with something from Oshkosh. This is in the Garmin booth, and they had their weather radar system on display. And this is the one with a 10-inch panel, and then you can see off to the side there they got the 12-inch and 18-inch panels. But anyway, this is a $20,000 unit, and with just a modification to the nose cone of the Raptor, this could be installed in the nose. And as you can see, it kind of just does the overlay on the moving map there. And for some reason it wasn't painting the full arc there, but anyway, it's kind of a neat setup, and as I said, for $20,000 it could be yours. And next over to the Grand Rapids booth, they had a demo of this HUD system, which actually the HUD system itself is only like $300, and basically what it does is just display whatever's on the screen of a phone or tablet, and they had it linked up to their avionics there. So it was, over Bluetooth, displaying exactly the same thing as their avionics panel was displaying. Anyway, that's an interesting little option that you may see more of in the future. You can see it's just how it's wired into that tablet that they had sitting there, and just running that software. So anyway, it's a neat little setup. So back to reality, and the parachute straps that we were waiting for arrived. So Jeff's gone and cut the openings there in the roof to run those all the way down to the forward bulkhead, and that one that you're looking at was just a smaller one. He's also got the openings cut for the lower receivers for the door hook locks. So we're moving forward with getting things ready for the next set of stuff to be bonded into the fuselage. And here the guys have been working on doing these rib molds, so getting pretty good at it now, because they've done a whole bunch of them while we were away, and they're still working on the others because there was about 50 something or so to go. So as you can see, they're moving along there. And where the parachute straps transition through the forward bulkhead, Jeff's had to sort of make a little opening for that, because this is kind of a change on what we had originally done. So anyway, you can see he just basically cut that back there, and is putting in a little bit of ply there. You see he's gone and plied that back up again to close off the cell where the foam is behind there. So once that's set up, there's not really much more to do before we can actually mold it or bond in the door frames. And the belt arrived for the governor adapter. So as you can see, I've just test fitted into place, and it remains to be seen as whether we might need to have some kind of idler arm on there, because we'll be able to tighten it up nicely, but we'll see once we get it sorted out there. And I've obviously got to replace that wood bracket there with a proper metal one. And next up, I actually went to the shop today that's going to be doing the dyno testing of our engine, and to check out their dyno setup. So here's basically the setup that they have there. It's a water brake, and obviously it's set up for regular gasoline V8 engines. So we're going to have to do a few different things with our engine, but nothing that's going to be too complicated. So I was back in the shop this afternoon, and even though I've got the engine covered back up, you see I've basically torn down most of the stuff on there, so we can get it pulled out of the engine mount soon, and get it transported over the dyno shop, and start getting it hooked up there. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see how much horsepower it puts out. Okay, back to Oshkosh, we're looking at avionics. So this is the back side of one of the G3X screens, and that's the GSU-25. That's the ADAHA system for attitude, heading, and information. And I'm looking at all this, to see how all these cables hook up here, and the CAN bus system, and learning it all, and just seeing whether I was going to be able to understand it all and capable of doing it. And there you can see it has a video input to that screen as well, so you can sort of embed video in the screen from a camera or something else. And here's the magnetometer there, and just again I was just taking all this video so I can see how they got everything wired up. Not that I'm going to use that, but just so I can have a look at how they did everything. Anyway, so we're just going to go through this all, and these are the 3 different GPS antennas that we'll be mounting on the top of the glare shield. So those are pretty subtle, small. Small ones are only just over an inch big. And there's the pitot tube, and that has built-in angle of attack information that will display on the G3X screen. We won't be having the standalone unit for that. And next up is the engine indication unit, which acts as an interface between a bunch of different sensors that we'll have on the Audi engine that allow information to be displayed on the engine page on the G3X unit. So hopefully we'll be able to get everything sorted out for that, and if not, we'll eventually get it. And there's the ADSB unit. We'll actually be getting the 51R, and you could look up that one online if you want to find out more about that. And next up is the 29, so that's the IFR adapter, and that allows you to do IFR operations. And then here's one of the servos for the autopilot, and just basically looking how that hooks up. And these are all CAN bus connections that they have on there. And you can see we'll be having two of those, one for pitch and one for roll. I won't be doing anything with yaw at this time. And this is the GTX 45R transponder, and that's the one that we'll be getting there. And so you can see the various different connections on the back of that, and we'll basically be installing it the same way that that one's oriented. So you see there's a bunch of wiring going on there, and different cables and coax and all sorts of stuff, and it looks really complicated, but when you just break it all down, it's not really that complicated. And here's the backup battery system they have on their demo display, and I may end up getting that, I'm not sure yet, most likely, we'll see. And now we're looking at the back and sides of the GTN 750, which is the main navigation unit. So all sorts of different things going on there, because there's there is one set of radios built into that, as well as all the GPS and a whole bunch of things in there. And this is the back of the autopilot controller there that we'll be getting. You'll see that one in a minute from the front side, but it has the altitude pre-select and also the heading bug control in there. You can kind of see it there. And this is the back of the G5, which is the backup EFA system, and we'll be getting one of those as well. So that way, if your primary, and even if any of all of your other displays go out, you'll still have a PFD available there, so you can still get all your attitude information, airspeed and that sort of stuff, altitude. So it's kind of nice to have that. And there you can see there's the front side of it. And now we're looking at the GTR 20. So this is a remote mount sort of secondary radio set. So you will have COM1, COM2, and this will end up being all the COM2 stuff. And again, it's a hidden unit, so you don't actually have a control panel for it. It works through the other units. And this is the main GPS antenna that, for best performance, it's sort of ideal to install it on the roof. So we'll probably put it there on the prototype, and maybe we'll move it later if it looks ugly up there. Anyway, here's this video is actually from last year, but it's the same type of thing. It's the same unit there. And just to show you the front again of how the whole system looks there, we won't have that radio in there at the bottom, and the 750 will be down in the center console, and then the autopilot head will be up under the glare shield. But basically we'll have the G3X there, and the G5 there that you can see. So, and there's audio plugins there. So anyway, the next thing for me to do is to start laying all this stuff out in CAD, so I can have a good picture of how it's all going to work. And here you can see I've got just the parts displayed now for the panel, and starting to put things in place. So there's one of the G3X screens, and there's the other one. And then down here in the center stack there, that's going to be where the 750 is. And then over there on the side, that's where the G5 is going to live. And then up the top there is where the autopilot controller is going to be. And in the middle there, we're going to have a 10-inch tablet on one side, and that'll be Android or iPad, most likely Android. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to have a Windows tablet, and that'll be displaying the engine information from the Motec ECU. And that's just for the prototype. For production aircraft, there'll be a big screen in the center there. So looking around the back there, you can see I'm starting to lay out how everything is going to basically live there. And I've created this little platform there, and some supporting brackets for that, which sort of mount on the keel there to give it enough structure. And I'm starting to lay out the different components there. So in the center there, I have the vertical power VPX, which is the one controlling all the electrical system. And over here on the left, I have the transponder, the GTX 45R. And then we have the GTR 20 secondary radio, and then the audio panel, remote one, and then the IFR adapter, the 29, and then we have the ADS-B unit there. So everything's sort of starting to come together, and the great thing about SolidWorks is it has a routing function, and then there's the engine control unit, which can actually live in the engine compartment there. Anyway, they have a routing control function that allows you to set up all your wiring and stuff, so you'll see that some more of that in the next update. Anyway, that's our update for the first half of this week, so thanks again for watching.